Hi everyone, my name is Vereen. In today's session, we are going to talk about something practical, how we can move from reactive quarterly supplier reviews to proactive continuous monitoring using AI. Before we talk about AI, we need to be honest about the problem. Most supplier relationship management today is still reactive. We review performance once a quarter. We prepare reports manually. We react to issues after they happen. So in this first session, let's clearly define what is broken in the current system. I think many of us can relate to this. When a QBR is coming, most of our time is not spent on strategy. It is spent on pulling data. We extract reports from SAP, clean Excel files, search through emails, and compile quality data from different systems. Before we know it, most of our energy goes into preparation, not conversation. And the real issue is this. Quarterly reviews means we only see problems after they have already grown. There is a 3-month gap where early warning signals can easily be missed. The system is not designed to detect problems early. It is designed to review them later. The real cost of manual supply management is not just time. First, a large portion of our efforts goes into preparing reports instead of improving performance. Second, when reviews only happen every few months, we naturally develop blind spots. Problems can grow quietly during that gap. And finally, late detection is always more expensive than early prevention, whether it's quality issues, delivery delays, or financial risks. So the cost is not just operational, it's strategic. When supply management is reactive, the consequences are real. Quality problems are discovered after customers are affected. Delivery issues come without early warning. Financial risks are only noticed when it is already critical. Instead of preventing issues, we end up firefighting. And at the same time, we miss opportunities to improve lead time and performance. Reactive management protects us from nothing. It only explains what already happened. This slide summarizes the shift. Today, most supply management is manual and retrospective. We look back at what happened last quarter. With AI, the goal is not better dashboards. It is earlier detection. Instead of static KPIs, we move to continuous monitoring. Instead of reacting to issues, we receive predictive alerts. And most importantly, instead of scattered data across systems, we move towards a unified view of supplier intelligence. It is not about replacing buyers, it's about giving buyers earlier visibility. Now that we have clearly defined the problem, let's talk about the solution. AI is not about replacing supplier reviews, it's about enhancing visibility between reviews. Instead of checking performance every 3 months, AI allows us to monitor suppliers continuously and detect risk much earlier. In this section, I'll walk through the key pillars that make this possible. To move from reactive to proactive supplier management, we need 5 key building blocks. First, data integration, because without clean connected data, AI cannot work. Second, anomaly detection, systems that monitor performance continuously and detect unusual patterns early. Third, risk scoring, combining financial, operational, and external signals into a single risk view. Fourth, communication intelligence, analyzing emails, meetings, and reports to understand relationship health. And finally, prescriptive actions, not just detecting problems, but recommending what to do next. Together, this pillar shifts supplier management from reporting history to managing risk in real time. Let's start with the foundation, data integration. The first pillar is automated data integration. Before we talk about AI models, we must fix the data flow. Today, many buyers manually extract PO data, goods receipts, and invoice information from SAP. That process alone consumes significant time. With automation tools like RPA, the system can extract this data automatically on a scheduled basis. No more manual downloads. Then, AI helps normalize and clean data coming from different systems, ERP, quality systems, even external sources. So everything becomes usable for analysis. Large companies like General Electric have already built centralized platforms where data from multiple sources is integrated and validated automatically. The key message here is simple. AI cannot work without clean, connected data. Integration is the foundation. Once the data flows automatically, the next step is detecting problems early. The second pillar is anomaly detection. In simple terms, this means the system constantly watches performance and looks for unusual changes. For example, average lead time may still look acceptable, but if the variation is increasing week by week, that is an early warning signal. The system can also monitor the gap between promised delivery dates and actual delivery dates. Even early deliveries can sometimes signal pressure or imbalance in the supplier's operations. Over time, the system can also detect quality drift when defect rates increase gradually instead of suddenly. Behind the scenes, AI models are trained to recognize these patterns. You don't need to understand the algorithms. What matters is this. Instead of discovering issues in a quarterly review, you detect them when the trend first starts shifting. That gives you time to act before disruption happens. Let me show you a simple example on how this works in practice. Let's look at a simple example. In a traditional approach, we review the average lead time quarterly. Suppose the average is 45 days, it looks acceptable, nothing alarming. But average can hide problems. 3 months later, during the QBR, we discovered that 40% of orders were more than 20 days late. By then, production schedules are already disrupted. The damage has happened. Now, compare this with an AI-driven approach. Instead of only looking at the average, the system monitors the trend in real time. It detects that lead time variance is increasing, maybe from 15% to 30%, then to 45% within a few weeks. In week 4, the system flags the trend. In week 5, the buyer investigates. In week 6, a capacity issue is identified. And then by week 7, a mitigation plan is already activated. The difference is simple. One approach explains the disruption after it happens. The other prevents it from escalating. And delivering performance is just one dimension. Risk can also come from financial, geographic, or ESG factors. The third pillar is predictive risk scoring. Supply risk does not only come from delivery performance, it can come from many dimensions. Financial health, for example, early signs of distress based on payment behavior or credit signals. Geographic risks, such as hurricanes, wildfires, or winter storms that may disrupt operations. ESG compliance, worker safety issues, or environmental violations. And geopolitical changes, trade restrictions, or regional instability. Instead of looking at these risks separately, AI combines them into a single dynamic risk score. Let's say the system detects a winter storm warning near a key supplier, and you only have 2 weeks of inventory. Instead of finding out too late, the system can generate an early alert and recommend actions, such as expediting orders or activating an alternate supplier. The goal is simple: move from reacting to disruption to anticipating it. But supplier management is not only about numbers, it is also about relationships. This slide gives you a quick look at the types of AI methods used behind the scenes. You don't need to understand the technical names. The key idea is this: different types of risks require different types of AI models. For financial risk, models analyze structured data like credit signals and payment behavior. For geographic risk, time-based models track weather patterns and disruptions. For ESG and geopolitical risk, AI can analyze news, database, and text information. So, AI is not one single tool. It is a combination of models designed for different data types. What matters to us in procurement is not the algorithm, but the earlier visibility it provides. Now, let's look at how we combine all these signals into one practical risk score. The fourth pillar is communication intelligence. Supply management is not only about numbers, it is also about behavior, tone, and responsiveness. For example, AI can monitor email response times. If replies are getting slower over time, that may signal capacity strain or shifting priorities. It can also analyze tone. If communication shifts from collaborative to defensive, that could indicate relationship stress. In meetings, AI can track action item closure rates, detect recurring topics, and even analyze commitment language. If the same issue keeps appearing, it may mean the root cause has not been solved. For document quality, AI can check whether reports like PPAP or 8D submissions are complete and meaningful, not just filled out. The goal is not to monitor people. The goal is to detect early signals that relationships may be weakening before performance declines. Let me show you a simple example on how communication patterns can indicate risk. Let's look at a simple scenario. In the first month, the supplier replies within 4 hours on average. Communication feels collaborative. In the second month, response time increased to 8 hours. The tone becomes more neutral and transactional. By the third month, replies take almost a full day. The language becomes defensive. Individually, each signal may not look serious, but together, they show a clear trend. The AI system combines these signals and generates an alert. For example, the supplier engagement score dropped significantly over 3 months. Instead of waiting for performance to decline, the buyer can schedule a relationship review, check for capacity constraints, or identify internal issues early. This is not about replacing human judgment. It's about giving buyers earlier visibility into relationship health. This slide shows the types of AI methods used behind communication intelligence. In simple terms, different models are used depending on the task. Some models detect trends in response time, others analyze tone and sentiment in emails. Some extract action items from meeting notes, and others evaluate document completeness and report quality. You don't need to understand the technical names. The important point is that AI can analyze both structured data and unstructured text, giving us insight into relationship health, not just performance numbers. Now, let's move to how this can be implemented realistically. So far, we have discussed what is possible. Now, let's talk about what is practical. AI-driven supply management does not happen overnight. It requires clear priorities, clean data, and a step-by-step approach. In this session, I will walk through where to focus your efforts and how to scale gradually. When implementing AI, we should not apply it to every supplier immediately. The return on investment is highest when we focus on our most important suppliers, typically strategic and critical suppliers. These suppliers represent a smaller portion of the supplier base, but they have the highest impact on revenue, operations, and risk. A simple rule is to focus most of your AI investment on the top 20 to 30% of suppliers, those that truly matter to your business continuity and competitive advantage. For transactional suppliers, basic monitoring may be sufficient. The key idea is prioritization. AI should be applied where the impact is greatest. Now, let's look at how these components fit in together architecturally. Let me simplify this architecture into something easy to understand. Think of it as 5 layers working together. At the top is the business layer. This is what buyers actually see: dashboards, early warning alerts, and action tracking. Below, that is the intelligent layer. This is where AI converts raw data into insights, detecting anomalies, scoring risks, analyzing communication tone, and evaluating document quality. Underneath is the data processing layer. This is where the AI models operate, analyzing trends, text, and patterns behind the scenes. Below is the integration layer, where different systems like ERP, email, and quality platforms are connected together. And at the bottom is the data source layer: SAP data, emails, meeting notes, external news, and compliance database. So, in simple terms, data starts at the bottom. Intelligence is generated in the middle, and actionable insights appear at the top for buyers. The key is not complexity, it's structured flow from data to decision. AI implementation should not be rushed. A practical approach is what we call crawl, walk, run. In phase 1, crawl. You assess your data quality and system integration. You ensure your foundation is strong. In phase 2, walk. You start with a focused pilot project. Choose one clear use case with measurable impact, such as anomaly detection or automated onboarding. And in phase 3, run. You expand your capabilities across the organization, often supported by a center of excellence. The key message is this: start small, prove value, then scale. So, what data do you actually need to begin? One of the biggest misconceptions about AI in supply management is that you need perfect data. You don't. For a simple anomaly detection pilot, what you really need is consistent historical transaction data. Think in terms of patterns. If you want AI to detect unusual behavior, it must first understand what normal looks like. So, at minimum, you need enough past purchasing and delivery history to establish trends, especially around delivery performance and lead times. If quality inspection data is available, that strengthens the model, but you can still start without everything being perfect. Most of this information already exists in your ERP system. Communication data can support more advanced use cases like NLP. And for predictive risk scoring, you can enrich your internal data with external financial or news signals. The key message is this: start with the data you already have, clean it, structure it, use it. Don't wait for a perfect data set before beginning. This slide gives a high-level overview of the types of technologies that can support AI-driven supplier management. These are tools for automation, AI model development, system integration, analytics dashboards, and specialized SRM platforms. You do not need all of these at once. The right combination depends on your organization size, systems, and maturity. I want to emphasize one important point. The list is based purely on independent research and industry observation. I am not affiliated with, sponsored by, or compensated by any of these companies listed here. The purpose is simply to give you awareness of the ecosystem, not to promote any specific vendor. Finally, let's talk about your next steps. We have talked about the problem, we explore the AI solution, we look at implementation. Now, the key question is, what should you do next? You don't need to transform everything overnight. Start small, start focused, start practical. AI in supplier management is not about replacing buyers. It is about giving buyers earlier visibility, better insights, and more time for strategic work. Let me suggest a simple way to begin. Before thinking about tools, what is your biggest friction today? Are you spending more time compiling data than managing suppliers? Are problems only surfacing when it's already too late? Delays, quality issues, capacity shocks. And what truly worries you? Financial instability, geographic risk, or ESG exposure? That repeated frustration is your starting point. Start your first AI pilot there, not because AI is trendy, but because it solves a real business pain. If you are serious about starting, this is my recommendation. Begin with delivery performance anomaly detection because it is measurable. You can clearly track on-time delivery percentage. The data already exists in your ERP. No complex data collection required. It delivers visible quick wins, which helps build management buy-in. And compared to NLP or full communication intelligence, it is technically simpler to implement. A focused 3 to 6 month pilot is realistic. Once that is stable, then expand. From anomaly detection to predictive risk scoring to communication intelligence, and eventually a full supplier intelligence suite. Step by step, not everything at once. Before we close, I want to acknowledge that the ideas shared today are grounded in research and industry studies. The references listed here cover supplier risk prediction, NLP in supply chain communication, financial early warning systems, and AI-driven supplier management. If you are interested in going deeper, I encourage you to explore these sources. And if anything in today's session is unclear, or if you are considering applying this in your organization, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to exchange ideas with fellow supply chain professionals. If you found this session useful, please support the channel by hitting like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts or questions in the comments. I read every comment and it also helps to shape future topics. Thank you for your time and I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Bye.